Today we're exposing the 6 cereal brands that British families need to stop buying immediately. Products so loaded with sugar they might as well be classified as candy. Bowls of artificial colours, synthetic vitamins, and seed oils disguised as a healthy breakfast. And the shocking recalls that prove even the most trusted names can't guarantee what ends up in your child's bowl. For decades, the cereal aisle has been the battlefield where corporations wage war on your health. Bright boxes covered in cartoon characters, health claims splashed across every panel, and promises of whole grains and essential vitamins. They told us cereal was the cornerstone of a balanced breakfast. That starting your day with a bowl of processed flakes, loops, or clusters was not just acceptable but recommended. Doctors endorsed it. Schools served it, parents trusted it, and for generations, we believed them. But here's what they didn't tell you. The cereal industry was never built on nutrition. It was built on convenience, shelf life, and profit margins. Those whole grain promises, often just a marketing trick to hide the fact that what you're really eating is refined flour, industrial seed oils, and enough sugar to rival a chocolate bar. Those cartoon mascots, psychological warfare designed to make your children beg for products that will spike their blood sugar before they even leave for school. And those health claims, carefully worded legal loopholes that say everything and nothing at the same time. The truth is, breakfast cereal as we know it today is one of the greatest nutritional deceptions of the modern age. What started as simple oats and grains has been transformed into an ultra-processed laboratory experiment. Extruded, fortified, colored, sweetened, and packaged in boxes designed to distract you from reading the ingredient list on the back. And the saddest part? We've normalized it. We've accepted that it's normal for children's cereal to contain more sugar per serving than a donut. We've convinced ourselves that if it says fortified with vitamins, it must be healthy, completely ignoring that those synthetic vitamins were only added because all the natural nutrition was stripped out during processing. If you're already shocked by what you're hearing, wait until you see what's actually inside these boxes. Drop a comment below if you've been buying any of these cereals without knowing the truth. Number 1. Kellogg's Frosties. Let's start with one of the most iconic cereal brands in Britain. The one with Tony the Tiger roaring about greatness. The one that's been in kitchen cupboards since the 1950s, Kellogg's Frosties. A cereal so sugary it should come with a health warning, not a cartoon mascot. Frosties contains a staggering 37 grams of sugar per 100 grams. That means more than 1/3 of every bowl is pure sugar. To put that in perspective, a single serving of Frosties contains more sugar than 2 Krispy Kreme donuts. Yet it's marketed to children as part of a complete breakfast. The packaging screams energy, sport, and vitality. But what it delivers is a blood sugar spike followed by a crash that leaves kids sluggish, irritable, and hungry again within an hour. And it's not just the sugar. Look at the ingredient list and you'll find a cocktail of additives designed to enhance flavor, color, and shelf life. Barley malt extract for sweetness, niacin, riboflavin, thiamine, folic acid, all synthetic vitamins added back in because the original grain was so heavily processed that nothing natural survived. This is fortification theatre. They destroy the food, then add back laboratory-made nutrients and call it healthy. Even the base ingredient, maize, is highly processed. It's not whole corn. It's refined corn flour that's been extruded under high heat and pressure, turning it into those golden flakes you recognize. But that process destroys fiber, strips away nutrients, and creates a product that behaves more like sugar in your body than actual grain. Kellogg's has spent decades building an empire on nostalgia and childhood memories. Tony the Tiger isn't just a mascot. He's a psychological tool designed to make parents feel good about buying a product that's fundamentally unhealthy. And it works. Because when you grew up eating Frosties, it's easy to assume they're safe for your own children. But that assumption is exactly what the industry depends on. This isn't breakfast, it's dessert in disguise. And if you're starting your child's day with a bowl of Frosties, you're setting them up for energy crashes, poor concentration, and a lifetime of sugar dependency. Have you been giving your kids Frosties thinking it was just harmless cereal? Let me know in the comments how many of you had no idea it contained this much sugar. Number 2. Nestlé Cookie Crisp. If Frosties is dessert disguised as breakfast, then Cookie Crisp doesn't even bother with the disguise. This is a cereal that openly admits it tastes like cookies. Tiny chocolate chip biscuits floating in milk, marketed directly to children with the promise of fun, taste, and excitement. But what Nestlé doesn't advertise quite so loudly is what's really inside that box. Cookie Crisp contains 32 grams of sugar per 100 grams, almost 1/3 sugar. And, just like Frosties, it's made from refined wheat flour that's been stripped of fiber and nutrients, then baked, sweetened, and fortified with synthetic vitamins to create the illusion of nutrition. But there's something even more disturbing about Cookie Crisp. It normalizes the idea that breakfast should taste like dessert. Think about the message this sends to children. That the first meal of the day, the one that's supposed to fuel their bodies and minds, should taste like chocolate chip cookies. It trains their palates to crave sweetness. It conditions them to reject foods that don't deliver instant gratification. And it sets up a pattern of eating that follows them into adulthood, where they'll continue to seek out processed, sugary foods because that's what their taste buds were programmed to want. But the sugar isn't the only problem. Cookie Crisp also contains vegetable oils, emulsifiers, and flavorings designed to mimic the taste of real cookies without the cost of real ingredients. There's no butter in these cookies, no real chocolate. Just cocoa powder, glucose syrup, and palm oil. It's engineered taste. A cheap imitation of the real thing, sold at a premium price because of clever branding and childhood nostalgia. And here's the part that really stings. Nestlé positions itself as a family-friendly company, a brand that cares about children and nutrition. Yet they're actively marketing a product to kids that contains more sugar than candy, knowing full well the impact it has on their health, their behavior, and their future relationship with food. Cookie Crisp isn't just unhealthy, it's a betrayal of trust, a product that exploits parental love and children's innocence for profit. And every box sold is a reminder that in the modern food industry, your family's health will always come second to the bottom line. If you've ever bought Cookie Crisp thinking it was just a fun treat, you need to hear this. Comment below if this changes how you see breakfast cereal. Number 3. Quaker Oats So Simple Golden Syrup. Now, this one is particularly sneaky. Because unlike Frosties and Cookie Crisp, which are obviously sugary cereals, Quaker Oats positions itself as the healthy choice, the wholesome option, the breakfast your grandmother would approve of. Oats are good for you, right? They lower cholesterol. They're full of fiber. They're natural. But take a closer look at Quaker's Oat So Simple Golden Syrup flavor, and you'll see that this is far from the simple, honest porridge it pretends to be. Each sachet contains over 16 grams of sugar. That's nearly 4 teaspoons of sugar in a single serving of what's supposed to be a healthy breakfast. And while that might sound lower than Frosties or Cookie Crisp, remember that this is porridge, a food that should require no added sugar at all. Traditional Scottish oats, the kind your ancestors ate, contain 0 added sugar, just oats, water, and maybe a pinch of salt. That's it. But Quaker decided that wasn't profitable enough, so they sweetened it, flavored it, and packaged it in convenient sachets that cost 10 times more than a bag of plain oats. And it's not just the sugar. Oat So Simple also contains flavorings, salt, and in some varieties, vegetable oils to enhance texture and mouthfeel. These additions are completely unnecessary. They serve no nutritional purpose. They're there purely to make the product more addictive, more convenient, and more profitable. Because the truth is, real porridge takes 5 minutes to cook. But if Quaker can convince you that instant sachets are easier, tastier, and healthier, they can charge you a premium for a product that's been degraded from its natural state. The real tragedy here is that Quaker is owned by PepsiCo, one of the largest junk food corporations in the world. The same company that makes Doritos, Mountain Dew, and Lay's crisps also controls one of Britain's most trusted oat brands. And under their ownership, even something as pure and simple as oats has been transformed into another ultra-processed product designed for maximum profit and minimum nutrition. If you want real porridge, buy plain rolled oats. Cook them yourself, add real fruit, a drizzle of honey, or nothing at all. Because the moment you reach for that golden syrup sachet, you're not eating healthy oats anymore. You're eating sugar with oats sprinkled in. Did you think Quaker Oats was the healthy option? Comment below if you've been buying these sachets without realizing how much sugar they contain. Number 4. Kellogg's Crunchy Nut. Here's another Kellogg's classic that's been fooling British families for decades. Crunchy Nut, the cereal that promises irresistible taste and a satisfying crunch. The one that adults buy for themselves because it reminds them of childhood. But here's what nostalgia doesn't tell you. Crunchy Nut contains 35 grams of sugar per 100 grams, almost as much as Frosties. And just like every other Kellogg's cereal, it's made from refined grains, synthetic vitamins, and a long list of additives designed to create flavor and texture that nature never intended. The base is maize and wheat flour, both heavily processed and stripped of fiber. Then it's coated in sugar, honey, and peanut flavoring to create that signature sweetness and crunch. But here's the kicker, there's barely any real peanut in it. What you're tasting is peanut flavoring, not actual peanuts. It's engineered taste designed to trigger pleasure receptors in your brain without delivering any real nutritional value. And just like Frosties, Crunchy Nut is fortified with synthetic vitamins. Niacin, iron, vitamin B6, riboflavin, thiamine, folic acid, vitamin D, and vitamin B12. All added back in because the original grains were so processed that nothing natural remained. This is the great deception of fortified cereals. They destroy the food, then add back laboratory chemicals and call it healthy. But your body doesn't absorb synthetic vitamins the same way it absorbs nutrients from whole foods. In fact, some studies suggest that over-fortification can cause imbalances and even toxicity over time. What makes Crunchy Nut particularly dangerous is that it's marketed to adults. There are no cartoon characters, no bright colors, just golden packaging and the promise of delicious taste. It's positioned as a grown-up cereal, which makes people assume it's more sensible than the kids' stuff. But in reality, it's just as sugary, just as processed, and just as harmful. The only difference is the marketing. Kellogg's knows exactly what they're doing. They've spent over a century perfecting the art of selling ultra-processed cereals as healthy breakfast options. And Crunchy Nut is one of their most successful deceptions. A product that tastes good, feels indulgent, and hides its true nature behind a veneer of adult sophistication. But the truth is simple. If a cereal contains more sugar than a chocolate bar, it doesn't matter how it's marketed. It's not healthy, it's not balanced, and it's definitely not something you should be eating every morning. How many of you have been eating Crunchy Nut thinking it was better than the kids' cereals? Let me know in the comments if this surprised you. Number 5. Nestlé Cheerios Honey Nut. Cheerios. The little O-shaped cereal that's been a breakfast staple for generations. The one with the bee mascot and the heart-healthy claims splashed across the box. The cereal that promises to help lower cholesterol and support your heart. But flip the box over and look at the Honey Nut variety, and you'll see a very different story. Honey Nut Cheerios contains 22 grams of sugar per 100 grams. That's over 1/5 sugar, and while that might seem moderate compared to Frosties or Crunchy Nut, remember that Cheerios markets itself as a health food. The packaging features heart symbols, whole grain claims, and messages about lowering cholesterol. But how can a product that contains that much sugar possibly be good for your heart? The answer is, it can't. The whole grain oats in Cheerios might contain some beneficial fiber, but that benefit is completely undermined by the sugar content. Because sugar is one of the leading dietary contributors to heart disease, obesity, type 2 diabetes, and metabolic syndrome. So when Nestlé plasters heart-healthy claims all over the box while loading the cereal with sugar, they're not promoting health. They're engaging in deceptive marketing. And it's not just the sugar. Honey Nut Cheerios also contains vegetable oils, cornstarch, and natural flavorings. The honey isn't real honey. It's honey flavoring mixed with glucose syrup and sugar. The almonds that supposedly give it that nutty taste? Barely there. What you're tasting is engineered flavor designed to mimic the real thing without the cost of real ingredients. But perhaps the most disturbing part of Cheerios' marketing is how aggressively it targets health-conscious parents. The box features smiling families, active children, and reassuring messages about nutrition. It's designed to make you feel good about buying it, to make you believe you're making a responsible choice for your family. But in reality, you're feeding them a bowl of sugar disguised as health food. Nestlé knows that parents want to do the right thing. They know that people read labels, look for whole grains, and avoid obvious junk food. So they've crafted a product that checks all the boxes on the surface while hiding the truth in the fine print. It's whole grain, but it's also loaded with sugar. It's fortified with vitamins, but those vitamins are synthetic. It claims to be heart healthy, but it contains ingredients that contribute to heart disease. This is the ultimate betrayal, a product that weaponizes your desire to be healthy against you. And every box sold is proof that in the cereal industry, marketing will always triumph over truth. Have you been buying Cheerios because you thought they were healthy? Comment below if you feel misled by the packaging. Number 6. Kellogg's Special K Red Berries. And finally, we arrive at what might be the most insidious cereal deception of all. Kellogg's Special K, the diet cereal. The one that promises to help you lose weight, feel great, and stay slim. The cereal that's been marketed almost exclusively to women for decades, wrapped in messages about body confidence, wellness, and control. But here's what Special K Red Berries doesn't tell you. It contains 27 grams of sugar per 100 grams. More sugar than many chocolate cereals. And yet, it's sold as a weight loss food. Let that sink in. A product marketed to help you lose weight contains more sugar than a bowl of ice cream. And the red berries that supposedly make it healthy? They're not fresh fruit. They're dried, sweetened, and contain added sugar and preservatives. The flakes themselves are made from refined rice and wheat, stripped of fiber, fortified with synthetic vitamins, and designed to be as light and insubstantial as possible, so you feel hungry again within an hour. But the real crime here isn't the sugar. It's the psychological manipulation. Special K has spent decades telling women that their worth is tied to their weight, that if they just eat this cereal twice a day, they'll finally achieve the body they've been told they should have. It's diet culture weaponized and sold in a box. And it doesn't work, because no ultra-processed cereal full of sugar, seed oils, and synthetic vitamins is ever going to help you lose weight or improve your health. The Special K diet, which Kellogg's heavily promoted for years, was based on the idea of calorie restriction and portion control, but it ignored the fact that quality matters. That eating real, whole foods is infinitely better for your body than eating low-calorie processed junk. And it exploited women's insecurities to sell a product that does more harm than good. Even the packaging is designed to manipulate. Slim models, bright red berries, words like light, balance, and nourish. It all creates an illusion of health while hiding the reality that this is just another sugary cereal dressed up in wellness marketing. Kellogg's knows that people are desperate for easy solutions, for products that promise results without requiring real change. And Special K is the perfect example of how corporations exploit that desperation. They sell you a lie wrapped in empowerment language and charge you a premium for the privilege of believing it. If you've been eating Special K thinking it would help you lose weight, you need to see this. Drop a comment if you feel betrayed by this brand. So what do all these cereals have in common? They're all owned by massive multinational corporations. They're all ultra-processed. They're all loaded with sugar, synthetic vitamins, and industrial ingredients. And they're all marketed as healthy, convenient, and family-friendly, while quietly contributing to the worst public health crisis in British history. Childhood obesity in the UK has doubled in the last 20 years. Type 2 diabetes, once considered an adult disease, is now being diagnosed in children as young as 8. Heart disease remains the leading cause of death. And yet, the cereal aisle continues to expand. New flavors, new characters, new health claims. But nothing ever changes, because the industry isn't interested in your health. It's interested in your money. And here's what makes it even worse. These companies spend billions on lobbying, advertising, and influence. They fund nutrition research that conveniently supports their products. They sponsor health organizations that then endorse their cereals. They place their boxes at children's eye level in supermarkets. And they fight tooth and nail against any regulation that would force them to be honest about what's really inside those colorful boxes. But the truth is finally starting to come out. Parents are waking up. People are reading labels. And more families are walking past the cereal aisle entirely because they've realized that nothing there is worth feeding to the people they love. If this video has opened your eyes to what's really in your cereal, hit that subscribe button so you never miss the truth about what you're eating. And if you found this shocking, wait until you see what we're exposing next. You don't need to eat cereal. It's not a necessary part of breakfast. It's a modern invention designed for corporate profit, not human health. But if you want something quick and easy in the morning, there are far better options. Make real porridge from plain oats. It takes 5 minutes and costs a fraction of what you're paying for instant sachets. Add real fruit, nuts, seeds, or a drizzle of honey. Cook eggs. Fry up some bacon. Make a smoothie with real ingredients. Toast some proper bread and spread it with real butter. These are all faster, cheaper, and infinitely healthier than pouring a bowl of industrial cereal. And if your children are used to sugary cereals, it's going to take time to transition. Their taste buds have been hijacked by sugar and artificial flavors. But that doesn't mean you give up. It means you gradually reduce the sweetness, introduce real foods, and teach them what breakfast is supposed to taste like. Because the longer you wait, the harder it becomes. The British public deserves better than this. We deserve transparency, we deserve honesty, and we deserve food that nourishes rather than harms. But until the industry changes, the only power we have is the power to walk away, to stop buying these products, to stop trusting these brands, and to start feeding our families real food again. Because the moment we stop accepting these cereals as normal, the moment we demand better, that's the moment the industry is forced to change. Until then, stay aware, read every label, and protect your breakfast table. If you made it this far, you're clearly serious about protecting your family's health. Subscribe now and turn on notifications so you never miss another exposé. Comment below which cereal shocked you the most and share this video with anyone who needs to see the truth. Together, we can take back control of what we eat.